we had to go, the homework, I think it was out of 25, the marks allocated to that task. We had to go and read that story about Sponono, a very problematic boy who had to be sent to a reformatory juvenile institution, and then write the homework, answer the questions. It was an English assessment. So I went that day because I'm afraid of this teacher. I went, remember I was staying alone. Got to my place, locked myself in the house. I read for the first time. I read that story with that limited English, but for whatever reason, I was able to get the answers I had to get. I was able to write that homework. I got 22 out of 25.
Wow.
And that confirmed to me, or just somehow said to me, you are capable.
You are capable.
And thereafter, I was a different person.
You were untouchable.
Like my name got to be known in the high school where I was. And I started pushing like that. Just, as I said to Mr. Mashawa, I think he did a good job. Because after that, my name started being recognized. Teachers would be expecting me to give answers in class. And
it does something to you psychologically.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So my name, well, back then I used to go by the name of Anthony because that's my English name, but
I don't even know that name.
Yeah, well, that's, but I'm Bareng, the name is Bareng. So my name became popular in the high school. Also, another thing that helped, my brother bought me a pocket dictionary, a very thick Oxford dictionary, and I used to carry that dictionary. So whatever way that they ask, possibly I will check quickly and be able to answer. And I thought, okay, well, no, man, I'm capable. Started pushing hard. Grade 11, repeated my grade 10, passed into grade 11. Grade 11. Look, man, I was one of those people in class that they knew that this man, when we allocate the homework, he would have done it. In class, I would answer questions. Geography, history, life science, those were my things. Mathematical literacy, it was just, look, the confidence was on another level.
Exactly.
I passed when I was doing matric, started applying. There was a LO teacher was assisting us, so with information and all those things. But as I told you, that the two of my friends, when I failed grade 10, they surpassed me. They were ahead. So they finished before I. When I was doing matric, one of my friends was at varsity. So that also sort of said to me, I need to go to varsity, And I think that is something that I think young people must take. If a person is doing well, it should not make you envious. It should make you admire to do well.
I love that. Yeah.
So that was something that also said to me, I want to go to university. And I must also just add as well, his uncle, my friend's uncle, was already advanced. It was one of the boys in the village where we come from, I think the first to go to varsity amongst our generation. So that sort of saying to you, I want to go, I want this. And my brother as well on the other side was pushing me because he was trying by all means. During that time, he bought me a new computer. He said, look, people these days, these are the careers. They work with these things. You must have this thing. So I was exposed to things that sort of makes me to aspire for better things. As much as I come from that, I was standing out. I was not as much. After school, I would chill with my uncle and his friends. They're smoking ganja. Some of my friends are smoking ganja. Or my local boys that I never attempted that. In fact, when my uncle used to say, meaning that if you'd say if you dip meat inside alcohol and you take it out and throw it there, a dog won't eat it. Meaning, but in a good way, he was just mocking me to say, I'm a dog, I don't drink alcohol. But he didn't know better again, because he was trying to influence me to drink alcohol. But again, I forgive him. He didn't know better. I love him as my uncle. So I applied at UCT to go and do environmental management. I think law was my second choice. First thing was environmental management. Everything was confirmed. NSFAS was approved. Everything, accommodation was approved.
Wow.
During that year, 2008, when the results, matric results came, we received part of our results. They were, I think, in me, well, for my statement, English was missing. It was XXX.
As if
Apparently,
you did not write it.
yeah, there was still some assessment. Apparently, they were checking whatever things that they were checking. So there was a delay in terms of me finishing the full statement to UCT so that they can finalize everything and say come through. When I eventually provided them with the final statement, I think it was somewhere mid-January or towards end of January, they said, no, you are not qualified.
You were already
you cannot do environmental management because environmental management requires science and mathematics, and you don't have those things. But I think again there UCT failed me because I applied a year in advance. I provided them my grade 11, all these things. They approved me knowing this, but well, yeah. So now I was frustrated. 2008, end of January, I do
and
not
it's
have...
late for you to apply anywhere else now.
I left with my friend, Katleo, home. We left home. It was raining when I left, remember very well. We came to Joburg. He was already at UJ. I came to Joburg with him, so he knew Joburg a bit. He went to UJ. I took a taxi, dropped me at the north, took a taxi to Deep Slot where I was going to meet my older brother. I met him. My older brother tried by all means to make sure that I secure a space in 2009, early 2009. But because of limited information, again, we went to all the universities in Gauteng, Pretoria, UP, TUT, UJ, VETS, all the campuses of UJ, Auckland Park and Doornfontein. I couldn't get a space. Again, it's not knowing. My brother would drive me. When he gets there, he would remain in the car. Look, he didn't know about university. And say, go try. When I get there with my limited English, I would try to talk to whoever that I can come across.
Some understand you.
Some of them, they'll just say, there's no late registration. At VETS, I went, I remember, entered Great Wall, the corridors somewhere. I met somebody, I asked them here to enroll, well, to register. Is there possibilities of me taking advantage of the late registration? I think they told me no. I went back to my brother. No, they say they don't take late registration. He tried by all means, as I told you, he transported me to all the universities. Unfortunately, I didn't get a space.
Sure.
So 2009, I was roaming around not studying.
Not studying. So what did you do?
I stayed in Deep Slot. My older brother again enrolled me at some college in Randbeck. It was teaching computer basics and call center courses, how to answer a call and all these things. So he enrolled me for the computer basics so that at least I can have a certificate. Because already I had a computer, but I needed a certificate that shows
skills.
Yeah. Then I got 100% Microsoft Word. It was taught in a month. First week it's Microsoft Word. Second week it's PowerPoint. Third week it's Excel. Fourth week it's Internet and Outlook. Got 100% in all those things, and I passed, got my certificate. I felt like I'm qualified. I started making a lot of CVs. Went around 4 weeks looking for a job. Didn't get a job. One white man one day made fun of me. Remember, as I told you, I'm from the village. English maybe, might have been more limited at the time.
Understandably,
yeah. When they asked where's the manager of a coffee shop, they showed me. I went to him. I said, I'm looking for a job. He said, do you know cappuccino? With that aggressive, do you know cappuccino? I said, yes. What is cappuccino? I tried to explain what is cappuccino. He said, do you know fagacino? I said, no. He said, no, I want people with experience. I left. One Indian man, in 4 weeks again, a boutique furniture shop It made me cry, that one. Because when I went in with my CVs and whatever, he said to me, it's a quiet furniture shop, exclusive furniture shop. He said, come. I went, he said to me, how can I help you? I said, I'm looking for a job. He said, but you are young. I said, yeah, but I have my matric. He said, let me see. I showed him. He said, but you did well, matric should be at school.
Yeah.
I said, yeah, but I couldn't get school, even finances are not there and all these things. I said, no, man, it's a problem. Man. People like you cannot be roaming around looking for a job. You should be at school. When you were saying that, all of a sudden, it just became emotional. But yeah, he said, no, man, unfortunately, I can't help you. You can see it's quiet here. But I wish you all the best. I left all the shops in Four Ways Crossing, Four Ways Mall, Leaping Frog. I would go around thinking I'll get a job. Well, sometimes even run back. I didn't get anything. Monte Casino, go in there, distribute CVs. I didn't get anything in 2009. Ultimately, at the time, I was staying with my brother. My brother's wife was back at home. Well, my brother left the village where we grew up in, and he built a house somewhere in a much better developed location. It's called Nkulu, on the way to Kruger National Park, Skukuza side. So that's where now it's home, and my brother stays there, and yeah, with his family. So at the time, the wife was staying there. And it was a fairly new development, no electricity and stuff like that. So she was getting scared to be left alone in that place. My brother said, no, man, if you go and stay back at home, at least with the two of you at least would support each other. So I went back home. But I wanted a job. When I got home, there's a nearby complex. It's a walking distance. Make CVs, go to that complex, go around distributing
Look for a
CVs.
job there.
Fortunately, I got a job at a clothing retailer there. I was requested to write the mathematics test. I got it right, I got the job. 2009, I was studying, but we're talking about Bareng, who was never exposed to a whole lot of things, we didn't know things. So at the time, my view were based on the environment I come from. We used to believe that cleaning the floor and all those things is not work or type of jobs that men can do. You get what I'm saying? So amongst other things, working at that clothing retailer, I had to clean the floor, to mop. We replenish after when
the store
closes in the evening. Then you need to mop the floor. And sometimes during the day, I would be requested to take a window lean, wash the windows. Didn't like that. As I told you, it's a walking distance from where I stay. So people from the area where I come from, they would pass me busy. I didn't like that, and I said, no, man, I need to go back to school. And I was a casual. In fact, I was not working full time. So they would call me when they need extra people, like when they stop taking, they would call me. On Sundays, when there's the permanent staff needs to rest, they would call me. And now and then they were exposing me to how to operate the till. So that's the most senior job in the shop, well, beside being the manager of the shop. So they were exposing me to do the till, but most of the time I would be walking around assisting people, standing at the entrance, checking people's bag when they leave. It's a Tsonga dominated area, so some people will come and say, no, the ladies would say there are panties in my bag, what do you want to check? But I said I'm required to check, and I will check, and the guys would say, no, you want to pray for us, as in when you touch them, you are kongelel. So, but I would do that. They would make such commentary, which was not really nice. But I did that. 2009, I applied at Wits University. 2010, came to Wits, started my LLB.
So you were accepted?
Yes. When I applied, law was my second choice. The first choice was, again, not knowing well, public administration. The reason public administration, in fact, it was hammered into me extensively by some gentleman who stayed there, who was a brother to my brother's wife. He was public administrator in one of the government departments back at
and he
home.
was doing well.
He was doing well. He had a house, he had a car, and all those things. So I wanted that. I applied. I indicated public administration. So when I come to VETS during registration, they say, no, there's no such thing as public administration. Public administration is something you can pursue after you graduated, but in order to take that route, you will need to do general BA. You get what I'm saying? Well, I registered general BA. Even on my transcript, you will see it dropped general BA courses: psychology, sociology, anthropology, international relations, and media studies.
Yeah.
Well, again, I came, now registered, proof of registration. I talked to my older brother, and he didn't know as well. Remember, as I told you, my brother has never been to university. He said sociology. He thought it's social work. He said sociology, so you want to be social work? Why don't you do law? But you did well in history. Why don't you do law? No, go deregister all the thing. Do law. Went there. That time, I think the head of school was some gentleman by the name of Panthesis, if I recall very well. He was giving a talk on that day in the Great Wall for the
first years,
newly registered student.
Yeah.
I was there waiting for him
To finish.
When he finished, I approached him. It was raining, I recall again, because he had an umbrella. I approached him with my limited English at the time. I told him, I want to register for law. I already registered for BA, but I want to drop out. He said to me, go and tell so and so. He instructed me to a specific person.
And you showed him your results.
Yes. He instructed, go and tell so and so. Tell them that I said they must register you.
Wow. But Bareng, where did you get such confidence?
I don't know. I went there, told the person, I looked for the person he instructed me to look for, and they registered me. Dropped those sociology courses, and I started LLB. Must say it was tough. Amongst other things, I had to pay. Well, I didn't have rest. Another thing, and the reason I didn't have rest, as much as I come from Mpumalanga, I used my brother deep slot address, thinking that my papers letters will go to him, and they are more safer than going to the school, because I was no longer attending at that school. So they said, no, you are nearby, you will travel. When I get to VETS, I said, no, I'm not nearby, but they say your address. I said, no. Then I went to SRC. Two gentlemen from SRC at the time helped me. One, I don't remember his surname, but by the name of Charles. He was SACP staunch activist. He would normally, during that time when he was assisting me, he was wearing an SAPC South African Communist Party t-shirt. The president of SRC was a gentleman by the name of Bafana Tlap. They assisted me. They said, okay, Fel, amongst other things, you're saying that you're not from Deep Sloot, you must change this address, because this is the reason you were not allocated. Through their assistance and guidance, I went to Student Enrollment Center and accommodation offices. I changed the addresses, and I was put on the waiting list. One morning, traveled from Deep Slot to VETS. My brother left. At the time, he has left the garage. He was now starting as a tow truck driver. Fairly new in the towing truck industry. Sometimes certain things happen in another. That morning, he got some client. He assisted that client. They gave him 600 rand.
Wow. When
I get to VETS, they say you have. There's a space at Men's Res or SLN. SLN is another residence in Bree, not Bree, in Hillbrow. Okay. It's a VETS residence, but it's self-catering. You cook for yourself. And stay there. I think Becky stayed there.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
At some point. So I decided, no, I can't stay there. I don't want to cook for myself. But they said they want 600 rand.
And you don't have that?
I don't have 600 rand. Remember, as I said, for me to move into rest, my brother on that day just assisted 600 rand. I call him and I say, I got space, but I must pay 600 rand for me to be allowed. He said, no, fortunately, I just assisted person. The person gave me 600 rand. Made means for me to get the 600 rand. I went and withdrew it, and I was allowed to take the room. Initially, I took the one in SLN, but as I said, I didn't like it because it was self-catering. But on the same day, I learned about a space in men's res. I went to men's res. I cancelled the SLN one. I moved into men's res. First year was very difficult. My brother was not doing well. Now and then, issues of money would be a problem. But we tried to push, and I started having thoughts of going to the army because it was difficult.
Did you now think of quitting?
I was prepared.
When was this? Second
2010.
year?
2010.
So you were
First year.
First year still?
Yes. I applied. I completed the forms, wanted to submit them. I think when I wanted to submit them, in fact, 2 times I completed the forms and I didn't submit them. First,
so you would miss the deadline?
Yes, first I completed them. I was planning to submit, but there was an assignment. Somehow I prioritized the assignment. Yes. As a result, the deadline passed. And second time, again, because of financial difficulties, I think this was now 2011. I completed the army, but this time there was this reservist opportunities. You continue studying, but you now and then serve in the army. Me and my friend, one of my friends at Vets, he actually happened to serve in the army. I think even now he still now and then serves, but he's working. A gentleman by the name of Oscar. We completed the forms together. So when I was supposed to hand in the form, I was supposed to also hand the form together with fingerprints.
So you had to go to the police station.
I went to the police station, got to Hillbrow police station. They said they ran out of the fingerprint form. As a result, I didn't submit my application form. My friend submitted. He was called from the army to do the fingerprints there. So had I submitted, I would have been called. But had I been called, I was going to drop out because myself, the reason I was applying, it was not just because I want to save. It was because I was
struggling financially.
It was really too much. Well, I had a lot of friends. Amongst other friends, I had this friend by the name of Musa Shabalala. He's from KZN. That he was a little bit older than us, so he introduced us to this thing of working while studying.
Okay.
So we would go around looking for a job, but the intention was not to quit studies, to work part-time and still. So that we did, I think towards the end of...
Is that something like, because I think I did something like that at university, where maybe you would assist at the library, or you become a tutor.
Yes, we looked
student assistance programs.
Definitely that. But at the time, we were not limiting ourselves to the university. We were going to any company outside.
Okay.
We actually were supposed to get work at some company that was. You see these boards that they put around the stadium. When MTN, Coca-Cola, those boards around the stadium.
Yeah.
So now they are digital. Back then it was boards just printed.
The actual boards, yeah.
And also after the match, there's the advertising background. They put, let's say you are talking, there's a nice background.
There's upside, there's Vodacom,
We were supposed to be doing that, but we didn't have driver's licenses. So we went to that company. He knew somebody there. They said, no, there are bakkies, new bakkies, Isuzu bakkies with structures at the back, so that they can carry those boards. So no, if you have a driver's license, by all means, we can allocate you that. On Fridays, you're going to drive this back, we give you boards, we tell you where to go, you go and set up the stadium. We give you money to get there, hire people who are going to assist you to carry the board. But unfortunately, we didn't have driver's licenses. It was me, Musa, and Gavin, my friend.
I know him.
We didn't get the job as a result. So because now he has introduced this thing that you can work and study at the same time, I continued. Went to one of the libraries, I got a job. That was 2011. Fortunately, around March.
You are now doing which year?
Second year historically in the institutions, but still first year, because in my first year, I failed one course and one I qualified for a sub and I didn't write that sub. As a result, it added a year to my I didn't complete my degree on record time, or within the required 4 years. So I got the job in the library. It sort of made things easy. I stopped thinking about this whole thing of quitting to go to the army and stuff. And I could now push. I pushed, that was 2011, 2012, 2013, 2014 final year. Completed my degree. At the time when I completed it, when you are doing third year, that's when you start stressing about articles. You hear other kids who are doing exceptionally well. They have already been signed.
Secured,
or sometimes you'll be talking to one of them, they tell you, have you been signed? No, I've not been signed. I've been sending out applications. But look, academically, one was not really doing exceptionally well. Now and then, it would be 50s, 50-something, 60, and there, 70, in very rare circumstances. So, finished my LLB, and I was not signed by any firm. I was stressed that how am I going to be in Joburg without being employed? And I was scared that if I go back home, there's no firm that is going to expose me to what I want to be exposed to. Back at home, there's no really lot of law firms. If they are there, it's a one-man show, basically doing criminal matters, and that's it. I didn't want that. But at the same time, another thing that I was doing at VETS is as much as I was working at the library, I would do orientation jobs, take advantage of orientation jobs now and then, assisting first years, taking them around the university, telling them this building does this and whatever. This is where you do this and that. So whenever those opportunities come, until my final year, I would take advantage of those opportunities, plus my library job. So it sort of made my finances were no longer issues, or one of my issues. So for 2014, I'm done. Come 2015, another special thing that happened, it's in 2014, I got a scholarship from this other firm, the firm that I did articles with. I don't know, I can't mention it, okay. Yeah, but yes. It's a firm based in Braamfontein, Chittle Thompson and Hayes Martinis. That's where I did my articles.
Very good firm, yeah.
So
how did you secure that?
The scholarship.
Oh, scholarship.
I got a scholarship. I applied. There was a they advertised at the law school. I applied, got interviewed. Fortunately, I impressed them. They allocated me the scholarship. It's one of those scholarships done to recognize one important political figure. Begim Langeni. Begim Langeni is one of the lawyers who worked at the firm, but he was killed related to politics and stuff like that. So the firm gives a scholarship. So I got that scholarship. I did work with them in 2014. It was the two of us with this other gentleman, and then they interviewed us for articles. I didn't get the articles, he got the articles. But when we finished LLB, I think he failed one course, and I passed. I finished my LLB.
Everything.
And as much as I didn't get articles, now the person who was taken for articles couldn't be taken because he failed one course. Then they called me to come and do articles with them. Did my articles with them first year. Also whilst I was preparing for my article years and stuff, I applied at Legal Aid. Legal Aid had interviewed me and all that. So I start today at CTH, Chittle Thompson and ASM. Then following day,
you're going for an interview.
Legal Aid, because they've already interviewed me. They called me to say they want to deploy me at Krugersdorp. But for whatever reason, at the time I felt CTH is a better place to sell articles than Legal Aid. No, not really that. I don't believe. I think Legal Aid exposes people to.
You think so?
Yes, hardcore court skills appearing before magistrate and stuff like that. Firms, obviously you're still junior, they will not expose you that. I think legal aid prepares you to be a lawyer on your own. Subsequent to finishing articles at legal aid, on your own you can run. Subsequent to finishing articles within a firm, particularly medium size and stuff, you will still need a job because you're not confident yet to run on your own.
Correct, yeah.
Because you do mainly serving filing, research and all this.
Yes, research for the attorneys.
Yeah, but legal aid you on your own day one. So that's what I would say. For those that wants to be on their own, I think I would recommend legal aid. The monies might not be matching what corporate would give you, but in terms of court appearances and being confident to argue a case, you will get that. So
there you have it, guys. Legal aid.
So yeah.
Is the recommended
I would say
option,
that. I would say that yes. But depending on one's preference,
to their own,
yes,
guys.
if you want
To
go to corporate firms, by all means you can go there.
Yeah.
So yes, I started today. The following day, I was called to be deployed in Krugersdorp. No, I turned them down. I continued with the firm, did my articles, but it has always been an issue for me that if I'm not employed in Joburg, how am I going to survive? I need to go back home. So I did my articles, started writing board exams. They were disciplining me seriously, board exams. And another thing, and
did you fail?
I failed. I did fail my board exams at some point, and it was worrying me. So I was allocated to 2 attorneys within the firm who were my supervisors. One attorney, and I'm still very grateful to having been allocated to that. And I think I told you about him, Mr. Masilu. That man mainly, taught me everything that I knew about preparing for matters and arguing, preparing submissions and all those things. The other one that I was allocated to, maybe let me not name her, I think she, for whatever reason, didn't like me.
Yeah. It happens.
Yeah, she didn't like me, she didn't give me work. Then I would go to her and say I don't have work because they allocate you a budget as a candidate attorney and you need to meet your target. If you don't meet it, it doesn't reflect good on you. And amongst other things, that is what they're going to take into account, whether you will be retained.
Capable, yeah.
Yes. So I was only operating with one supervisor whom I was allocated to. The other one was not. She would say she doesn't have work. But she would come. I was sharing an office with this other white lady.
The other candidate attorney.
Yes. She would come and give work to that person and still omit me. But fine, it happens.
It happens.
So second year of my articles, board exams are dealing with me very severely. Another thing that I took into account is that very same lady who was doing that, she was very close to the managing director at the time. For whatever reason, I just concluded in my head that there's no way I'm going to be retained here. I'm not getting my board exams correctly. One of my supervisors doesn't really give me work.
Very close to the
she's close to leadership. I just concluded, I was not told I will not be retained, but I just concluded that there's no way I'm going to get retained here. Started applying for other jobs, whatever jobs that I'd come across on the internet.
Would you say you were slowly giving up on you becoming a lawyer at that point, or you were just putting things
No. I was not giving up on becoming a lawyer, but I wanted to be sure about me being able to remain in Joburg.
Okay.
So, and I was now prepared, either legal advisor or anything.
Yeah.
Well, the firm where I did articles mainly used to service unions and stuff like that. So, and it works, the tribunal that they spend a lot of time at, they do other matters, but labor court, it's one of the tribunals that we would spend a lot of time at. So I think I was on leave to write board exams. but I had to go to the labor court to attend to something work related. When I was at the labor court, I came across, and in fact, the guy from a union that I subsequently went to work for, was there to put up a post, an advertisement for a legal litigation officer or legal officer's position. So I spoke to that man, hey man, like this position, all the requirements I met them based to LLB and experience, 1 year experience I think they wanted at the time. I had that. And I asked him, how much do they pay? And he said, look, I said something very fancy. And I said, no, I'm going to apply. I applied.
And was that more than what you were getting?
Well, it was more than that. I applied for that job, and as I told you, I was on leave writing board exams, and board exams were humbling me seriously. So, and amongst other things, I was considering applying straight to court to become an advocate. Because there was that option of
do pupillage.
You don't do pupillage.
Not pupillage.
No. Pupillage is when you serve under a particular with a particular bar under a particular.
So you wanted to go straight to.
There was that option. I think now it's no longer permissible, but you could apply straight to court with your LLB. You get admitted as an advocate.
Right there and then.
Yes, it's called the ex parte advocate or sidebar advocates.
I don't think they still do that, because now what's popular is that you need to be assigned to the
I think the LPA might have sort of stopped that.
But anyway.
So I was considering that because board exams, as I said, they were humbling me, and also I knew that I just concluded I will not be retained here. Well, I got interviewed by the union. I told them it was around September. I was left with 3 months to finish my articles. I said to them, I'm about to finish my articles. Can you wait for me to finish? They said, no, we want you immediately.
No.
Because of the money and because of my assumption that I will not be retained, I submitted my resignation. And then in my resignation, my supervisor said, the one that I said he was keeping me busy, he said, bro, do you want to be a lawyer? Where are you going to unions? I said, no, man, I do want to be a lawyer, but no, I'm going to go that route. He said, no, man. He advised me against that, but whatever reason, I still went that route. One of the chairperson of the board as well, it was another man by the name of Tifora Ditapol. I worked with him now and then as well, but he was not my direct supervisor. He said to me, go and tell them that I said they must withdraw the
appointment,
the resignation that I've submitted.
The resignation,
because they were advising me against going to the union. They said I should finish my articles and possibly get admitted. But
you didn't listen to them.
No, like at the time, what I was thinking of, it's money. All I was thinking of is I'm not going to be retained. I will not be having a job next year. So that's all that was driving me. No, I left, went again.
Would you say that was a good move when you look at it now?
It was not a good move because I had to now pay to make up for not finishing my articles. I had to now go to p.2. You get what I'm saying? And possibly if I stayed, I don't know, maybe I could have been retained.
Exactly.
And,
it was just your own.
So, but you don't know. So, but look, I guess the concept of opportunity costs applies.
Correct.
Had I stayed, possibly if I was not retained, I would have lost on the opportunity. I've gone, I've gained some, I've lost some. So that's what happens in life. Sometimes you're faced with a situation where whichever route you take, you will gain some, you will lose some. Whichever route that you abandon, you will lose something, but also it would be possibly to your advantage that you've left and stuff.
So you joined the union.
I joined the union.
Become the legal advisor.
Worked at the union. Tried to work, but at the union, a lot of things are not in order. Cases are late. Things are not really going well, and there was also some politics going on. It was during the campaign, the CR17 campaign. And at the time, the General Secretary of the Union pronounced that he goes with NDZ, and COSATU as the affiliate was going with CR17. So subsequent thereafter, the General Secretary disappeared. There was some investigation against him, and there were some judgments against the union, and for 3 months we didn't receive a salary.
Oh my goodness.
So another thing that was happening about me, and maybe this is another thing that drove me to consider joining the union, is that because I knew I'm going to be earning a little bit better and I can implement my other dreams. I've always wanted to have a business. So when that happens, it just coincided with some opportunity that my younger brother came across, but he needed a truck. So I knew that if I join take this package, I will be able to purchase or maybe save up and purchase a truck. But my error, which I regret to a certain extent, is when I started working at the union, part of the conditions of the employment is that you must have your own vehicle. And I started deliberating on getting a vehicle. I've never liked private vehicles. I thought, no, I'm going to get a bike. I've always liked bikes. So maybe I might drive a private vehicle because of fuel consumption and stuff like that. But so I went and got a bike, and which is an error because I went for a new bike. 2016 went for a new bike. When I bought the new bike, remember also there's the opportunity that I need to buy a truck. Subsequent to buying the bike, I didn't qualify to buy it. To buy a truck. So I took a loan. I partnered with a friend of mine. We put together money. We were able to buy the truck, and my brother was operating, which is another business venture that failed along the road. So that's another thing that drove me. But okay, I now have to pay the bike. I have to pay my loan. I have to pay for my accommodation. 3 months with no salary because the accounts of the unions were frozen. At the time when this thing is happening, I was, I think it's 2017, I was attending at PLT. So the guys in class, I would talk to them. Now I'm looking for a job. There was a gentleman who was working at the pension fund adjudicator at the time. He was sitting, we were sharing a table. He forwarded me a job opportunity from one of the corporate companies, big insurance company that I joined subsequent to the union.
That's when you met me.
So I applied. At the time, I didn't even know, I knew the full name, but the abbreviated name of the company, I didn't even know it, that it's that insurance company. So I applied for the job from the union, but I was applying with a bit of reluctance. I'm in a political environment, I'm in the union, I'm going to go to corporate. Corporates, they are afraid of people who are exposed to politics.
Exactly.
Because, you just conscious in many aspects. Corporate ones, people who are not conscious. I can say that.
Yeah.
So I applied. Either way, I guess sometimes it matured people within corporate. They can still take you even if you're from whatever environment and give you an opportunity. I guess this is what happened in my case. The recruiting manager, even though I was from a union, he still considered me and he took me. And the fortunate or unfortunate thing is I was thrown in the deep end. I was legal advisor based at the head office of the organization. My manager is based at one of their branches in Cape Town. And I had to do things that are beyond my that's another instance where I realized I'm very capable, because I was pushing hard.
Was there any point where, even though you realized you were capable, but I'm sure there were certain doubts?
Look, doubts will always be there. Yeah. There will always be doubts, but small victories
exactly
builds on
proved
your confidence.
otherwise.
If you do something, although you are not sure, but if you succeed and maybe you have a supportive manager, it helps. Because I would do that, there would be a lot of noise, they would complain, escalate to him. He would tell me, Bareng, sometimes it's not what we do, it's about how you do it. Go again, take them through a journey, explain to them what you are, what informs your decision and what is it that you want or you're advising them to do. If they don't want it, put the advice on record so that later on when things don't go, we can remind them that this is the advice we gave. And he has this thing that he used to say to me, which is something that I like. You'd say that get them through their heads, their hearts will follow.
Wow.
So if their heads are convinced that what you are doing is correct, their hearts automatically will just follow. So I think I was fortunate, as I said, although I was from a political environment, he still recruited me. And still thrown me in the deep end, and I had to run and do a lot of things on my own. Now and then you would be available to me telephonically, but most of the times I'm alone on the ground. And look, you would tell me that, hey man, you're punching beyond your, basically you would compliment me, and I think that it's another thing that was building on my confidence gradually. And I made a name that I think or the impression I've created within that particular institution. But then, look, as I told you, I have this problematic things in me that I have other things that I want to take. My intention is I want my family to have a name. I come from, I've already related the story about my background. And in fact, the name Mukwena, which is my mother's surname, it's a very big name where I come from. And in fact, the family that we come from also used to be big. My grandfather had 4 wives, but it's from the other families.
Which you also want to follow suit.
Not really.
But that's a separate discussion altogether.
Not really. It will cause me problems. My wife will beat me. But as I said, as much when my grandfather passed on in 1973, before I was born, they separated. So I grew up with my grandmother's family.
Yes.
So, but as I said, if you say Mukwena from this, it is known. But I don't think the name is powerful. I don't think it's a name you can introduce yourself and be confident.
Okay.
What do I mean by the name? Building a name, and look, I'm sure if you get to Eastern Cape and say I'm a Mugaitobi, surely they respect you.
I know what
if you get to, well, maybe even in the country, if you say I'm Mandela, surely people, before they can know a lot of things about you, they respect you automatically. So it is something like that I want for my family. So that is why, as much as I think in corporate I was doing well, I was doing exceptionally well. But because of my other ambitions and to build business and another thing that just added on what I want to achieve, it's the fact that I have 2 daughters. And I don't want them, it is my desire that I don't want them to work. I want to build a system that they can take over, provided they like it. How I put it normally is that I want to plant trees that can give shade and fruits to me when I'm no longer capable, when I no longer have the capabilities that I have now, but more importantly to my kids and family beyond me. So that is what I want to see myself. If I die before putting together that, I would have died prematurely. But if I die after having put that together and having that system functioning, I think my death will be timely. It won't be premature. So as much as I was doing well in corporate, because I have these other things, and I got to a point where I think corporate will not enable me to put together that. You get what I'm saying? I need to be hands-on on it. Well, I've tried a few businesses that failed, and I was operating through my brothers, my cousins, and I don't think they really understand what is it that this man wants to achieve. Like, I think they, at some point, maybe, this is my assumption, I think they just think maybe this one is stingy, because I'm not one of those who just give money anyhow.
Around, yeah.
I don't buy alcohol. I hardly. You'll get alcohol from me after you fought with me very time, so you've been making a lot of complaints. But mainly, I think it destroys people. And another thing, it's because my aim is to see myself having established that system. And I got to a point where, yeah, look, whatever I was getting from corporate, I think it was not enough. But we had a good relationship with my manager. I think he has done everything to assist me. When I got my first child, I told him, look, it's now difficult financially. He adjusted that. But I can't be every year coming and saying, adjust. So look, I think during that time I tried another opportunity which was available there. And I got interviewed, I got the job. It offered me better with another insurance company, by the way. And I must say also I had my own dissatisfaction with the institution that I joined before I joined the second insurance company. So as much as I said, I couldn't every year come and say I want more money, more money. And remember, the main thing, I need to put together a system that
for your kids, and
your
family.
Yes, so I joined that establishment. I worked there again. I was doing well, and I think I was fortunate again to come across a good manager, very good lady, man. Very good lady. I think to a certain extent I might have disappointed her when I left, because I just got to a point where I felt I'm not fulfilled, and I just I think I was no longer really liking my job. And she recommended things, but to me, that was not the only thing that I was seeing. Is, you know what, go and be responsible for what you are earning, and go and put yourself in a position where you can put together those systems that you want to put together. So I left the previous insurance company, joined the second one. I stayed with them for a year. I was doing well again. Look, man, I think if I wanted to be in corporate, I was earning better. And if all I want is drive a fancy car, have maybe a better house than the one I stay at now, I could have done that. And if I stayed committed myself to the job, possibly I would grow. Or maybe other companies would recruit me. But that was no longer appealing to me.
Anymore,
That was no longer appealing to me. I wanted to be a full-time practicing attorney. But another thing that again maybe just added to my dissatisfaction is that corporate will only expose you to what they want you to do. I was doing employee relations. That's all I would do. CCMA appearances, I felt like there's nothing I don't know about CCMA. I'd go there. I won all my cases. Yes, I won. The only case for the previous firm that I lost was one. Again, the commissioner, I think she got it wrong, but because of the amount we had to pay, we just decided let's just pay that. And the second insurance company I joined, again, I won all my cases. There was one that I lost, and it went on review. It was set aside, and when I left, it was supposed to sit again. So I didn't leave corporate because I'm not doing well, or I was doing well. Had I wanted to stay in corporate, I would have stayed. And as I said, I would have either grown within those corporate companies that I worked for, or I would have been recruited by other companies. But because of this problem in my head of wanting a lot of things, liking things, I started being unfulfilled. And I resolved that no, I want to. There's a friend of mine, by the way, as well, who's also was making the desire to be in practice more alive. Gavin. Michelle. Whenever I talk to that man, it's like I'm watching a very interesting movie. He's doing well in practice, and generally, any area of law you bring it to him, he will tackle. And I wanted that. The fact that, and as I told you, that when a person is doing well, Instead of hating and
yeah.
being jealous and all these things, admire it, let it
Exactly.
propel you to want to do better as well. So I wanted that as well, to be able to tackle almost any area of law. I wanted, I was only appearing before commissioners at CCMA. As much as it was good, I wanted to be confident that at any given
any
time,
forum,
I can get
you
a
can
person
be
on bail
confident.
out. I can represent a person in the magistrate court. I can represent a person in the High Court. That is what now was sort of appealing to me, and I resolved that, no man, I'm now becoming a liability to corporate because I'm no longer really liking what I'm doing, and let me leave. It was scary. It is still scary, but it's exciting at the same time. So we ended up going to practice. I've partnered with this gentleman that I've partnered with now.
And what is your law firm name?
The law firm currently goes by the name of Ramokhadi Attorneys. I've partnered with this gentleman, Kabelo Ramokhadi, and we're pushing together. Basically, we equal partners. Very soon it will change. It will either be Mukwena Ramokhadi Attorneys or Ramokhadi Mukwena Attorneys. So we've been pushing, and so far, as I said, look. Obviously, I'm not making the same money as I used to make in corporate. So that's the only scary thing about being in practice. But
it's not guaranteed income.
Yeah, but when I look at myself and I look at where I'm heading to, I just see myself being able to implement what I always wanted to implement. And possibly I'll build a name that I want my family to have. And I want my daughter to introduce themselves as Sorenso Mukwena with confidence. And immediately people must recognize who this person is. And as I told you, I do not want them to work. If it's according to me and they align with that and they understand that, unless if they want other things, if they want to be dancers, unfortunately I don't have a dancing style. But if they align to what I want to achieve, it's either they want to do law or they want to do farming or trucking or whatever. I think by the time they grow now, they've put together that systems, they will have the option to decide where they want to fit in. So that's, yeah.
Wow, Bareng, I think that is so powerful. You've said a lot. I could not even ask some of the questions that I had because you literally answered everything that I actually had in mind. Now, Bareng, we're about to conclude, but before we do that, I just want you to maybe encourage someone out there. Your background is very humbling, and a lot of us come from those backgrounds, from those circumstances, something similar. I mean, I'm from the Eastern Cape as well, and I also have my story to tell, which I will at a later stage. But what would you say to the person who's probably watching this? This is a person who's probably watching from Bush, from Eastern Cape, from KZN. That person is in high school. They have no ambition or dreams altogether, or even someone who's at corporate and they feel that they're no longer fulfilled. They're happy, the money is coming in, they're driving fancy cars, but there is that nudge to do something else whilst in corporate, or maybe wanting to quit altogether. But what would you say to somebody who's just stuck in that situation? So you'll start from someone who's maybe currently in high school, and then all the way to someone who's already in the professional environment.
Yeah, what I would say is know who you are. It's very important to know who you are, and don't do things that you cannot afford, or they do not. Your circumstances cannot afford you to do that. What do I mean? As I think one of the important things that I did at a very early age, not to drink alcohol. Because had I drank alcohol, I think it's either my brother was going to get tired of me now and then making demands of money, because he was assisting but with limited resources. So don't do things that your circumstances don't allow you to do it, but also things that will take you forward. If something is not going to take you forward, why should you do it? But further to it, I would say, look, and I don't want to put my situation as a special or exceptional one. there's people in worse conditions than mine who do not have who are not lucky to have a brother as me, who's gonna push them. It's unfortunate, but should you get any person who's gonna give you that little bit of support until you can make informed decision, capitalize on that. Don't stress them to an extent that they get tired. Capitalize on that. Make sure that you take advantage of that. And as I said, if you are in worse conditions than the ones I've just related, it just means you need to push more harder.
Yeah.
You need to push more harder. And if you are in the same situation, I don't want to claim as if like but at least that you can take mine, take other people's conditions and use that as a blueprint.
Yes.
If you are in better conditions, just a matter of capitalizing on those better conditions and pushing towards what you want. So in terms of somebody who's already incorporated and all these things, again, just identify what is it that you want in life. And
disclaimer, we're not encouraging people to quit their jobs. No. We're just saying that if it makes you happy and you have the desire to resign, you can. And if maybe you have means of doing both, you can also do that, so long as you are happy and it's something that fulfills your soul.
Yes, if it means that you wanna do both, you can do both. But what I think it's there's a friend of mine who puts it very nicely: choose your poison and drink it until it kills you. So know what is it that you want, pursue that thing until you get it. Don't accept something that you do not like, do not aligns with your plans, or it doesn't help you to get to where you want to. Okay, well, maybe just to add on knowing what you want, it's also have a clear path that you intend to take to get to where you want and pursue it. You get what I'm saying? And stay. Look, I think success it's simple, and maybe other people who are successful makes it look like it's for the smart people and stuff like that. Success, it's just staying on the lane where success is gonna pass by long enough that when it comes, it comes across you. You get what I'm saying? Because as I told you, I never thought I was academically capable, but I've stayed in that. I've never dropped out. Some of my friends dropped out at high school, primary, and stuff like that. I stayed in that lane long enough until something said to me, "You're capable." You get what I'm saying? And that's when sort of the confidence to say you are capable of reading and writing something that would impress the teachers came. But it used to be not there. You get what I'm saying? So that's what I would say. To say, choose your poison and drink it until it kills you. And another thing that you said, to say to anyone who's in the rurals and wherever, well, I like my fellow ruralitarians. I think we're very special people.
We are.
Why do I say? And I need to clarify that. The reason I'm saying we're very special people, we come from circumstances that never prepared us. Like the schools where we come from never prepared us for vets.
Yes.
To come here and compete at vets and maybe UJ or whatever. Look, it takes a particular type of an individual. Not everyone can do that. I think some of the circumstances that some of us come from, some people, if they could be exposed to, and if maybe somebody thinks they're not privileged, they must just think of other people. Look, writing a paragraph to some of us, a sensible paragraph, when we get to vets was not something that we are capable of. Look, when in geography they would say name 9 types of clouds, and I will just recite those types of clouds, and I thought I'm smart. When you get here, they say critically analyze. What is that? I don't know what is critically analyze.
Reference case law.
What is that?
They say
when you write something, you must reference. What is that? I've never used to. So all those things, it's something that it's a culture shock when we get here. So I'm saying that for those that already they come prepared, capitalize on that. For those that they come not prepared thoroughly, you just have to push 2 times harder. It's unfortunately like that. And another thing that I would like to say is that you must be an individual who force matters. You must force matters. Sometimes the circumstances or the environment would not be favorable, but you must just push hard. Force matters. Like it may not be promising, it may not be, you may not have anyone backing you up, but as long as you want something, be determined to get it. Force matters.
Sure.
Force it.
And you did force it.
Like, unfortunately, some of us, the only thing you just have is be a rebel and just bulldoze everything that tried to stand on your way.
Sure. Very, very inspiring.
Yeah.
I don't know about you guys, but I really, really enjoyed this. I'm going to make 2-part videos, so we're going to have part 1 and part 2 because we had quite a very, very long conversation. I will also leave the details of Mr. Mkwena on the description box. The name of the firm, I will leave the details on the description box, the name of the firm, the email address. If maybe you have any legal questions and you just want to ask anything that you think might assist you in your professional journey, mainly legal, right? Yeah. But yeah, I will do that for you guys. Thank you so much again for joining us, and I really hope you enjoyed this. I'll see you on my next video. Bye bye.
Thank you, Yonela, for giving us such a platform to sort of share with people where we come from, who we are, and what we do. Thank you. Really appreciate it.
Thank you so much for joining us.
Sure.
Bye,
Thank you.
guys.